Welcome to your Phase 5 meditation practice. This week we're focusing on a practice called campaigning. If you haven't had a chance to watch the resource tool yet, I do highly recommend it. Oftentimes when we are supporting people with addictive behavior, we ourselves have some coping mechanisms that may not be healthy for us. So it's a good practice to use this tool to help us overcome any habits or limits or dysfunctional behavior that we'd like to free ourselves of. I am going to be referencing the tool while we meditate. So if you haven't watched that video yet, you don't need to watch it in order to engage in the meditation. However, if you do want more detail after the meditation, that's a good place to go to understand kind of the details around campaigning and why it works. So to begin the process today, what I invite you to do is just close your eyes and take a deep breath. Whether you're already centered or if you're coming to the meditation a little stressed today, I invite you to just be present. The meditation itself is designed to lessen your stress. So if you've done a centering practice first, that's great. But if you haven't yet, it'll be okay. The questions I ask will serve as that. So to begin the process, what I'd like you to do is think of the thing that you'd like to modify, the behavior or activity that you're engaged in that you would like to shift. So whether it's an addictive substance or behavior, we're going to be able to use this tool. But what I want you to do is think of the thing you go to when you are the most stressed, when your back's really up against the wall and you start to crave either an addictive substance or a behavior. Think of the thing that you go to that is the hardest to resist. It might be food. It could be something that you drink. It might be something like smoking or watching television. It could be something that you engage in on the internet, or even a behavior, a certain way you respond to people, certain activity you engage in. So bring to mind the one that causes the most disruption in your life, the one that has the worst side effects to it, the one you wish you could be free of. Okay, once you've decided the thing you would like to change, and I'd like you to say to yourself, it's not like me, too. And then say the thing you do or have when you engage in this activity. So it's not like me to do or have this thing. Just go ahead and say it out loud to yourself if you can. You can also write it on a piece of paper. Articulation is really important in meditative practices. So you don't want to articulate it in some way. If you're in a place where you can't articulate it by writing or speaking aloud, at least say it, clearly say it in your mind. And then what I want you to do is notice. Does your brain want to argue with you? We often think that who we've been must be definitive of who we are today. So when we first make a statement saying that we don't do a thing that we have historically done, the brain might want to argue. Let it. Don't worry about arguing back. All we're doing at this point is saying the sentence. It's not like me to. And then following the sentence, what I want you to do is to name 5 things to yourself that you hate about having this addiction or engaging in this activity. What misery does it bring to your life? Most habitual behavior that we don't like, we convince ourselves to do. We tend to convince ourselves that it has benefits. In doing that, we actually begin to believe we really enjoy it. And so sometimes it can be difficult to think of the negative factors. But what are the side effects? Have you lost people in your life over this thing? Have you gained or lost weight? Finances? Has it affected your income? Has it affected your health? Does it affect your work or your relationships? What don't you like about the fact that you have engaged in this activity in the past? What past problems has it caused you? So if you can, so again, I recommend you articulate that if you can. These are the 5 things I don't like about engaging in this activity. If you need time to write those things, you can always pause the video. Give yourself time to write as many things as you want. When you're doing the practice, you only need to say 5. You can say more if you like, or you can save them and make sure you have several handy on bad days. But moving on from the 5 things, what I want you to do next is to ask yourself, what do I really want? Why do I engage in this activity? Do I want to just feel good for a minute? Has today been so stressful that I just want a break? Has it made me feel better in the past? Is that what I want? Do I want to feel better? What do I think I'll gain from having this thing? Does it make me happy? More social? Less insecure or powerless? Am I looking for comfort or security? Do I really want power and safety? What do I really want? Even if this thing hasn't really given it to me in the past, what is it that I really want? How do I really want to feel? And what else can give me that? So what healthy thing gives me joy? What healthy thing might make me feel stronger? Even if it's something that would take some time. Like I don't feel the full benefits of this thing today, but I knew if I accomplished this, I could have that feeling. Now, initially, this may not come to us easily. So hopefully we've been meditating on this week. But if you still don't have clear ideas and you've tried several times yourself, what I recommend, if you have any group sessions that you attend, you can go to those. We have sessions here you can engage in. You can also consult in sessions or talk to friends, particularly people you know that might be engaged in healthier activities, and ask them, what do you do to feel this way? What are some things that you do? You don't need to talk about any issues you're having at the moment. You don't need to talk about the behaviors or anything like that. You can just start to ask people, get perspective from other people. If you don't readily know of something that you can try, that's not a failing. It just means you haven't been exposed to an opportunity to give you that information. So it's a good thing to ask. Ask in the forums, reach out to people and get some ideas. This is a really important piece of this, is giving us, we will fall back on our history if we don't get new ideas for our future. So even if it's little things to try, over the next few weeks, I will be giving some practices of self-observation so you can notice how you're affected by different things that you do, so you can get a clear understanding of what will work well for you. But in the meantime, reach out and see if you can't get some ideas from other people. The final step of the practice is to say, instead of engaging in this behavior, I'm going to do this instead. So this becomes available to you anytime. Anytime you're feeling an urge or feel overwhelmed by the conditions in your life, you can pause and say, it's not like me to do this thing I've done in the past. Here's 5 reasons why I don't like it for all these reasons. This is what I really want. I really want to feel this way or to accomplish this thing. So instead of engaging in that old pattern of behavior, I'm going to do this instead. And what I want to leave you with today as a contemplative practice is the question, if you could make that shift, instead of doing that thing you used to do, doing this new thing instead, if you could make that transition, what would be possible in your life? What would be available that wasn't available before? What side effect would you no longer suffer? How would it affect your life? And spend time describing what your life would look like if you were able to engage in the healthy activity. So I'm going to leave you with that question, with that contemplation. And just spend time, as much time as you can, describing, articulating what your life will look like if you can change this behavior. So I'll leave you with that, and I'll look forward to connecting with you again next Sunday for another meditation.